Hello everyone, I'm Teacher Dance, your English teacher, and I am here to help you prepare for your examination. Together, let's ace it. What to expect in your examination? Well, your examination is just easy. It covers Module 3, 4, and 5. And especially if you study your lesson prior or before the examination, I'm sure that you'll be able to get a good score in your exam. So without further ado, let's get right into the review of these modules 3, 4, and 5. First in line is Module 3, which is about elements of a story. And here we learned about these elements of story. And that's what we're going to recall in this review. We learned about the 5 elements of a story in this module, and these are characters, settings, plot, theme, and conflict. For characters or character, it is a person or sometimes even an animal who takes part in the action of a short story or other literary work. We also have setting, by which we learned, and I emphasize that setting in a story does not only refer to where the story happened, but it also includes the time element. So therefore, when we talk about setting, it refers to both when and where the story happened. For plot, it is a series of events and character actions that relate to the central conflict. And next is conflict. This is the element of the story which adds more color and gives more impact to the story, because it is the struggle between two people or things in a short story. The main character is usually on one side of the central conflict. There are so many types of conflict, and one of these is person versus person, or meaning there's a protagonist and antagonist, and a lot more. And for the theme is definitely different from the lesson. If you were asked what is the lesson of the story, you can definitely answer the theme of the story, because theme and lesson in the story are different. When we say theme, it is the central idea or message or belief in a short story. Therefore, if you will be asked what is the story all about, you may say it's about love, it's about forgiveness, it's about charity, and all, okay? But if you will be asked what is the lesson in the story, then you may say forgiveness is important because, or love is about helping one another. So that's quite different from each other. Theme and lessons are different from each other, okay? With that, let's try this kind of test. Read a story and identify its elements. You have to write your answer on the blank. Therefore, in your examination, there will be part where you have to read a story and then identify its elements. Meaning you really have to review on these elements, because you cannot definitely answer these elements or the questions about the elements of the story you read if you do not know the definition and these elements of story. Next in line is Module 4, which is about values suggested in visual media. In this lesson, you will learn about visual media, what visual media are, and that you also learn about the values you can learn from visual media. We have different kinds and examples of visual media. The point of this module is the values that you should get from this visual media, and that you should not abuse the use of visual media. One good example here is the sharing of memes on Facebook. You have to make sure that whatever memes you share, these should be something beneficial and good for everyone, and it will not hurt anyone else's feelings. And I have here possible values you can get from visual media. These are faith, love, generosity, courage, diligence, grace, joy, and happiness. These are just few of the values that visual media can give you if you can only use visual media properly and appropriately. And so in your examination, there will be part where you have to identify the values suggested in the visual media presented. You have to list down at least 2, 3 values suggested based on the given images. And this is one of the, or this is an example of visual media. that one, the girl who is watering the plants, and the son is very happy. That's just a simple illustration, but we can get a lot of values from this picture or image. And one of that is the love for the environment, or that we have to take good care of our environment. And lastly is all about Module 5, pluralization of regular nouns. Here you learned those basic and most commonly used rules of pluralization of regular nouns. And with that, let's try this type of test, which is also included in your examination. This is just an example where you have to identify plural form of the regular nouns below. Write the answer on the blank. Example is the word or the noun lily. What is the plural of the word or noun lily? That's, according to the rule of pluralization of regular nouns, if the letter or if Y is preceded by a consonant, then you have to change Y to I and add ES. So that becomes lilies. And for babies, same rule applies. You have to change Y to I and add ES. And for X, for words ending with X, letter X, you have to add ES. So that becomes axis. We also have a type of test where you have to write grammatical sentences using the nouns provided. And for example, we have days, boys, meaning if the nouns are in plural form, then you have to use them in plural form as they are, okay? For example, days. Few days from now, we will have our periodic examination. And for the noun boys, we can say, or you can write, the boys love playing basketball. And that concludes your periodic exam next week. It's not that hard, especially if you do your part, you study before your exam, you review, then nothing will be hard for you. Thank you so much, and God bless you all.